set this to public real quick if I can figure out how to do that. Let's see if this worked. Hello. What did you miss from your first Silksong stream? You missed like the first, maybe half of the game, maybe 1/3 of the game. Let's see, I gotta plug in my monitor here. My desk has been an absolute mess ever since I started streaming. I was like actually doing YouTube work today and everything's all in the wrong spot now. Let's see if this worked. The lamb sends good luck to you. When's the next vid? Probably Sunday at the latest, but I'm hoping to get it up sooner. I'm recording some other stuff to send to my buddy who edits some stuff for me, so there should be some stuff coming out. Oh, sorry. My microphone was not in front of my face, so. But anyway, next vid should be up in the next few days, but it just depends on when I get stuff out. It depends on what I want to cover too, because typically I prioritize sending stuff off to my buddy to edit, and then I work on the more like script heavy stuff in the background, but I'm hoping to get something script heavy out pretty soon. Okay, I gotta remember what I was doing. So yesterday, I was getting all the pieces for the for whatever the quest that you need to do to get the upgrade, the damage upgrade. I think I have to go to Greymore. Chipsa, thank you for joining. Thank you for you've been a real one for a long time. Okay, I gotta make sure I know how to play this game still. Because the question is asked a bunch during the stream every time, this is not my first time playing Silksong. I guess, as much of a Silksong veteran as you can be. It's only been out for a couple months, but will I cover the man who had eyes on his head? I think pretty much everybody has eyes on their head, so I can't imagine what the horror of that story would come from. Although typically most, scary individuals that I've ever read about do have eyes, so there's some overlap there. The printer. Yeah, the printer, can you guys even see it? Is it kind of hidden now? No, the printer, it's been sitting back there for months because it does not work. Like I was saying, a few months back, I wrote like a percussion ensemble piece for our local high school here for them to perform, and I wanted to print the music out for them, and I could not do it. That printer is broken. I put new ink in it, it still didn't work, and the new ink was kind of expensive, so I said I'm gonna find on Marketplace some like inkjet printer from the 1980s, and I'm just gonna have that in my house because I would rather be doing that. I'd rather be, those felt like they always worked whenever I had those at like any office job that I worked at. The gas station time loop creepypasta, I think it's called the strangest security footage I've ever read, and I think I have like half of a script from months ago sitting somewhere, or maybe it was part of a creepypasta iceberg video that I never ended up finishing. Maybe I could resurrect that as a video. That would be kind of fun. Okay, I'm going to the wrong spot. I do want to cover Laughing Jack at some point, because considering making that one of the videos I'm going to record here either today or tomorrow. because it's definitely, especially because when did the Slender Mansion video, they mentioned Laughing Jack, so I'm like, I feel like I should talk about him at some point. I didn't realize that for a long time I thought him and Eyeless Jack were the same person. They just have the same, you know, same name. You forgot this game came out? There was like years of mass hysteria around this game not coming out, and then when it finally did come out, I've talked about this a lot on this stream, but like there was this insane, like people thought it was way too difficult, and the discussion around it was so fascinating that I almost made a video about it, but I didn't think it would fit on my channel. But joke's on me, because here I am playing Silksong on my channel that's mostly about horror. Yeah, Eyeless Jack is insane. Eyeless Jack is like, I think like maybe even a little underrated in terms of like funny creepypastas. Just like, and then my pet theory that the doctor is Eyeless Jack, and that's why he's so nonchalant. I think that's got to hold at least some water. Does Mr. Creepypasta dude? I actually have never watched a Mr. Creepypasta video. It's just not like, I was never into it back in the day. When I like was into creepypasta back in like high school, I really only ever read it. Even though Mr. Creepypasta was probably around, but I didn't really get into YouTube until like later high school. So, I didn't. Is he doing AI readings now? But also, some people just have like. Some people just have voices that sound like AI. Like, there's certain YouTubers that I watch that I'm like, if this YouTuber had not been around before AI was a thing, I would think their voice is AI. But I also think it's just a case of like so many YouTubers, especially like not commentary, but like drama-ish YouTubers, all talk. Oh, I don't have the money for that. All talk with like the same cadence that no humans ever talked with in their entire life, where they're like, today we are going to talk about Hollow Knight Silksong. And I'm like, I always wonder, because they always do that same voice, and I'm like, how do they talk normally in real life? Like, when I make my video, my voice is definitely different when I make videos. Like, obviously, there's some level of performance to it, but it's pretty true to just how I normally talk. I mean, I'm talking right now how I normally talk, but yeah, I don't know, it's just interesting how so many YouTubers adopt the same exact like vocal inflections. I guess it's the same with like newscast. It probably even comes from like newscasters, where they all speak like with the same like general cadence of like, today we saw something interesting. You know how they all talk like that? Instead of playing Exorcist Tubular Bells and trying to sound all creepy. Tubular Bells is an amazing song, like goes unbelievably hard. But yeah, that was like kind of one of the MOs of my channel initially. It was just like talking about scary stuff, but I didn't want the videos to necessarily be scary in and of themselves. Like I'm a big fan of, I think, you know, Wendigoon's pretty good at that, but more specifically, Mert KK is a YouTuber that I really, really like, and she does kind of the same thing, and so my channel kind of started off as a bit of a Mert KK ripoff a little bit, but I think everybody's channel always starts off as a ripoff of, you know, or as, you know, as a confluence of different influences of channels that you enjoy. Fishel, it's cool that you found me through the Deer Hunter analysis. I do want to make another Deer Hunter video that's like a more general overview of all of the all 5 ACT albums. Oh, that was great. Because now that my channel is a lot bigger, I want to expose more people to that band. Okay, I promise that I'm not terrible at this game, but I've not been focusing. Chillin' Chipsa, thank you for the donation. When you were young, I assume you mean tween, teenager, used to be obsessed with the creepypastas. Yeah, you know, like I said, I mean, when I was in like early high school, I think my freshman years when I read Jeff the Killer, and I legit thought it was like one of the scariest things I've ever read, which is why it's been so fun to go back to horror and creepypastas and stuff, and to like, you know, just see how my views on it have kind of changed a bit, but you know, there's still so much nostalgia associated with it. Oh, I see. That was a two-parter. My rapturing story, partially because my best friend at the time was two, and I came really close to cosplaying as Tiki Toby on a plane when I was talking about visiting them. I would have paid to see you cosplay as Tiki Toby on a plane. Honestly, that would be a great, during COVID, that would have been a fantastic cosplay, because you were already wearing a mask. Official, thanks for appreciating my Mr. Usher theory. I think it's like canonically not true, but if we're not going to get a sixth part to that story, I think it makes the story is more satisfying if there are less characters in it. But also, that's just a thing that I tend to like doing whenever I make theories, is to like try to combine characters because it makes things more neat. I did that with my 3D Workers Island video, where I put some characters together that could have potentially been the same character, but I just tend to like smaller scale stuff. I think that's why. Seat Eater, Mr. Widemouth. Ivan, this is not my first playthrough. I've beaten this game, I think 3 times already. I think actually 4, because I got the speedrun achievement. You have to be in like less than 5 hours or something. I can't remember. It's pretty generous. But I did that in my most recent playthrough. But when I was like, I wanted to try out streaming, and I wanted to pick a game that I didn't really have to think about a whole ton, because I've already beaten it several times, so I thought this would be good. And somebody asked what some other albums that I really like, so I have my vinyls down there. Would be a good way to look at some. I mean, lately I've been listening to the album Heavy Metal by Cameron Winter. I think it's super good. Just some super interesting production choices, and like one of those albums that like kind of depresses me a tiny bit, because Cameron Winter's like 24 or something, and he's already writing these like masterpieces. I feel the same thing. Another one of my favorite albums is Wide Awake It's Morning by Bright Eyes, but that is a brilliant album, and there's one of the lyrics in one of the songs called Landlocked Blues. He says, I think after 22 years you think after 22 years I'd get used to the spin? And I'm like, this dude was 22 when he wrote this album. Like, that's kind of depressing. But you know, who knows? You always feel like whatever, like your time has passed you by or something, but it really hasn't. Do I enjoy making videos on silly stuff or more serious stuff? It just kind of depends on the mood that I'm in, like whether I want to be more quippy or whether I want to do something more serious. My favorite videos are definitely the videos that are more serious, like my This Is Where I Died video. I also really like my 5NAF videos because those are just like a fun creative experience, but I enjoy making all of my videos. There's never like videos that I make that I feel are like slogs, right? I haven't gotten to the point where it's like, you know, I feel like I'm forcing myself to make content or anything. I still feel just very lucky to be in the position that I'm in. I have read The Ones Who Walk Away from Omelas. I read in high school. It's awesome. Um, I did like Sunya Official. I don't like the newer stuff as much as the old stuff, but I still really, really enjoy it. Especially some of the stuff on Antimi is super good. Especially is it Ring 5 that's middle class? That is a fantastic song. Um, and they played that at the concert that I went to. It was super great. Okay, let's see. I need to get the Mossberry Stew. Would you read my creepypasta on your channel? I've been trying to have it greenlit, but no such luck. It's called Crazy Karen. Enough is enough. If you want to send it to me, I'll see if I can find the time to read it. I've got my whatever it's called, my email in my channel bio. But I get a lot of stuff sent to me, to be honest. I have quite a few books, like advanced copies of stuff that get sent to me, and I don't always have time to get to all of it. Okay, I need to go to get the Mossberry Stew, which means going back to the whatever it's called, the station, the Bellway. Have I ever beaten Pantheon 5? I've beaten Pantheon 5 twice. I've never beaten it with all bindings or anything, but I have beat it twice on my 2 most recent playthroughs of Hollow Knight. Yeah, probably like, and you know, I still haven't done the bindings on it, but probably the most difficult thing I've done in a video game. It's like whatever, like 45 bosses in a row, and if you die, you go all the way back to the beginning. What's the thing about the sock in my channel bio? Way back on this channel, I used to use a sock as a pop filter, but then when I got a new microphone, I didn't need to do that anymore. And so some people had complained about that the sock was missing. It's actually back now on my new microphone. You can see that I cut the sock up and just put it on the very end because I thought it would be a funny little, a funny homage to the original sock pop filter. Oh yeah, you're right. I did use it to cover the brand because I didn't want to promote it. I forgot that video just went out. Yeah. No, yeah, this is a Shure microphone. It has a big like Shure logo on the side, and so I did want to cover that up, and that's why I cut the sock up for it. I get a million like fake fake sponsorship offers from Shure all the time. Like just like random people who are trying to, I assume, like steal my, I think this is the wrong place to go actually. They're trying to steal my information or something, and they send me like, oh, Shure would like to partner with you. It's never really true. New here, just want to say I feel like your videos have helped me out with my own writing. That's not an odd thing to say. I'm glad that you feel that way. That's, you know, that's part of the goal is to like, because I feel like sometimes, I mean, I've mentioned this before, but there's a lot of like maybe older creepypastas that people have fond memories of, but nowadays are known for being like poorly written, but some people might legitimately not understand why they might be poorly written. And so I think it can be kind of fun to talk about like, you know, why the quality maybe isn't the greatest, but then also recognize that you can enjoy something that objectively is not of the greatest quality. My favorite Silksong boss is First Sinner, I would say. I really like Carmelita too, but First Sinner is like, just has like the best flow to it. You sent me a Steam key to your visual novel. I'll have to see if I can find that through my email. One of the issues, I've had a lot of people send me Steam keys, and I'm very grateful, but one of the issues I have is that I only have a Mac. So a lot of stuff that I get sent on Steam I can't play because it's not for Mac. So that is oftentimes, I've had a couple people send me stuff that looks really cool. I'm like, sorry, I can't play this. I haven't bought a gaming PC yet. Work in the morning. Don't read Cup. I actually have never read Cupcakes before. I know Creepcast did an episode on it, but I haven't watched it yet. Which I need to get the mossberry stew. Okay, she just gives it to me. Perfect. I do want to release a full length of that astronaut song sometime, but I need to find a good way to record it. Now that I have a little bit better of a microphone, I might be able to, but the issue is, I mean, I wasn't particularly good at the guitar when I recorded that in the first place, and I'm even worse at the guitar now because I have not kept up with it, so, like, recording that is tricky. I had a friend who I was trying to get, he was going to help me record it, but it just didn't end up working out because he got busy, but I'm hoping to get to that eventually. I feel like there's there's a mossberry over here. I was like, there's something you can get. A horror remix of the astronaut song. It's already terrifying. It's about being in space. That's like being in space alone. That sounds absolutely horrifying. My favorite area track in the game, I assume, like, if you're referring to a song in the game, well, it's hard to think of now because I can't hear the sound because I can't listen to it and also have it go through the stream audio at the same time. At least I haven't figured out how to do that yet, but I really like the song that plays in the choral chambers that goes like doo doo doo, and it's got a cool chord progression to it. So I really like that song. Okay. I need to go back to the Grand Bellway. Yeah, Christopher Larkin's really great. Really good composer. I mean, everybody that works in this game is just absolutely legendary. Man worked on Hollow Knight as well. Fully deserves its insane level of success. Yeah, Shell of music's really good too. Hollow Knight soundtrack, I feel like, is like its strength in that it's very like most of the time it's very non-intrusive. So it sounds like, it's like a lot of like really atmospheric stuff, but then occasionally they hit you with like, the more in-your-face stuff. I mean, one of my favorite songs in Hollow Knight is the song that plays when you fight the Pure Vessel. I think that one is really great. It has like the Hollow Knight theme in it. Jacob Cecil, thank you. It is funny to think that my channel has been going on for Yeah, just about 2 years, a little bit more than 2 years. No, yeah, I guess, yeah, I've been posting for a little more than 2 years, but I just got monetized in January of 2025. So, and the channel has been around for a lot longer than that, but I wasn't really posting on it until about 2 years ago. I've not played In Sound Mind, nor have I even heard of it. But I'm actually not that good at keeping up to date on video game news for the most part. Like, I mean, I keep decently up to date on like Nintendo stuff because I tend to like Nintendo games, and I thought it was really funny that they're re-releasing Star Fox again. But I do love Star Fox 64, so I'll probably be getting that game. Okay, where am I going? Thank you, Maggot Furby. Maggot Furby. I will. I'll give that a read. After this, I have to read. I just started volunteering at a wildlife rehabilitation clinic, so I have to read the employee handbook and stuff. I guess I haven't even started yet, but I'm going to start next week. Why'd I start live streaming on this channel? I mean, I've always been kind of interested in live streaming. It's mostly because I've been really addicted to video games lately, and I figure I might as well stream. And it kind of helps me because, like, you know, then I don't want to be playing games when I'm not streaming, so I end up playing less games overall. And maybe eventually I'll just make a second channel for it, but I figured I would just put it on this channel regardless. Oh, Inscription would be fun, but I feel like it would be ruined because I've already played it twice. And I know Inscription, if you don't know anything about it, go and play that game because it is awesome. It's super good. Yeah, I did Courier's Rashers yesterday. And it was my cleanest Courier Rashers ever. I didn't take any damage, and I didn't hit any walls or anything, so it was very clean. I went up through Sinner's Road and then through the exhaust organ. I actually still haven't even beat I haven't beat the last judge yet because I haven't rung one of the bells. I can't remember where it's at. Okay, I know I need more. I'll need more rosaries before I get the upgrade. I have a psalm cylinder I could give to the guy. That would give me some. Work in the morning. Let's see. Oh, if you talk to the pilgrims, they'll mark where it's at. I'm sure it's probably in like the Wormways maybe, because I haven't been over there yet. Wormways are over here. There might be one of the Wormways. Or else I don't think there's one on Hunter's March. Maybe there's one in Bilewater. I don't know. But I should go do those. Because I want to make sure I don't like skip stuff before I move on to. Well, I won't move on to Act 3 for a very long time because I haven't done like any of the side quests. Oh, I do want to get the. So what I need to do is get the Polypart and then do some side questy stuff, and then I'll go back and do the High Halls Gauntlet. Let's see. I'm just gonna run around Citadel and fill out the map a little bit. Oops. Hey, it's Garmin and Zaza. Somebody last night on stream was begging me to get them for the High Halls gauntlets, which I've never done before. Oh, if you made me, you can make me on Tamagotchi Life. I don't mind. You can make Evil Davis on there too. What other genres do I enjoy besides horror? I mean, I like just like slice of life, like historical, not like I don't know. Like I'm currently reading a book called The Bluest Eye by Toni Morrison, which is like slice of life drama-ish. My favorite book is To Kill a Mockingbird, so in the same vein there. I haven't even started the Flea quest either. So like that's, or like, I mean, I recently read Cannery Row by John Steinbeck. So I read a lot of like older stuff when I have time to get around to that. And then I occasionally like reading some nonfiction stuff. I just read a book about Ruby Ridge that was interesting. And I read a book called Piranesi that I really loved. It was my favorite book I read last year. My thoughts on Ghost Set of Watchmen is that I haven't read it yet because I think that book's existence is very questionable to me, just because Harper Lee had expressed that she did not want to release anything else. Oops. But she didn't want to release anything else, after To Kill a Mockingbird, and then it just so happened that once she was at the very end of her life and was struggling with either dementia or Alzheimer's, that book got released. And I believe it was taken mostly from an old manuscript of To Kill a Mockingbird, like a first draft essentially. And so I think the interpretations of the characters don't seem to be accurate to what they ended up being. But I mean, I shouldn't even judge because I haven't read it yet, but I just have that's my thoughts on when it was released. I also I love To Kill a Mockingbird. I think it's like perfect, so I don't want to taint my view of that book because I do think it's like it doesn't need a sequel. I still haven't read Slaughterhouse 5. I need to. I recently read... Let's see, maybe I didn't. I thought I read like a classic book that I thought was pretty... Oh, I read The Stranger by Albert Camus or something. I forget what his last name was, but that was good. I have A Clockwork Orange, which I need to read. My thoughts on Marble Hornets, I mean, I haven't watched it I watched it when I was in high school, but I never finished it. I remember liking it at the time, but it's a long series. I need to commit myself to finishing it. But definitely cool, like, it really does feel like an OG internet horror series. And like, especially, kind of, that stuff really fascinates me because it was done during a time when, like, I don't even know if like YouTube monetization was a thing or was certainly less prevalent than it is now. So like the fact that people would just make these things, no expectation of even making any sort of money off of it, is like super impressive to me, super admirable. So OG YouTube is very fascinating because of that. But I do think sometimes people romanticize like OG YouTube. Because it's like there was still a lot of like garbage on the platform. There's always been a lot of garbage on the platform. Camus, that was his last name, huh? I have not read Wuthering Heights, but maybe I should because it's been in the zeitgeist recently because of that movie that just came out. How would I feel if there was a creepypasta revival? I mean, in a way, it feels like it never left in the sense of like people make it. It feels almost like analog horror originally was almost like a revival of the feeling of creepypasta, where it was just like people making, you know, scary media online. But I do feel like nowadays YouTube is the place where all that stuff kind of goes because there is that monetization potential for it. And, you know, just people have less money nowadays, and especially young people, it's like, it's hard to, when you're already working a lot of hours for not very much money at all, to like dedicate so much time to something that's gonna not benefit you like financially, which just sucks, but that's like the world that we live in, unfortunately. So I think there is a revival in terms of that. And, you know, people are still, I think No Sleep is like creepypasta-esque, and then you have authors who will transition from No Sleep to full novels. But like I said, you know, there's still creepypasta being written today. I think it's just like maybe the spread of it is less common than it was back in the day because the internet's a lot bigger of a place. Have I played much Cassette Beast lately? No, I played it. I mean, I had a like a gaming channel, like a Let's Play channel I was doing with my friend Zach, but it was hard to find time to record together because he went back to college and stuff. So, and then at the time, I was like posting more frequently. I was posting every Wednesday and Saturday, and it was just a lot. But so that was the last time I played it. But the first time I played Cassette Beast, I really loved it. I haven't played many like Pokemon inspired games, but that one, I really liked the like interpretation of Pokemon that it did. I think it did a really good job of making it feel very unique. Who's my favorite Homestar Runner character? I always really liked Strong Sad. Just because I think like the concept of him is funny. When I was little, I loved the cheat, of course, but yeah, Strong Sad has always been like a funny idea for a character to me. All the strong family characters are funny, that they're just like, it's funny too because you have Strong Mad, who's like, his character trait is that he's mad, and then Strong Sad, who's obviously sad, and there's just Strong Bad, who's like, his character trait I guess is that he's bad. But I used to just always watch the Strong Bad emails. Night of the Mannequins, I loved Night of the Mannequins. I have a script on that I'm working on, but I kind of got distracted from it. But yeah, super cool little novella. Definitely very short. It felt like mapping the interior, and like it was novella length, but really cool concept, and like really cool book where like it starts out and I was kind of like, what is this trying to do? And then like 30% of the way through, I like realized what was actually going on. I'm like, oh, this is like actually really disturbing. This is actually really freaky. That's super cool. I need to let's see, I'm trying to think about, and I need to do the High Halls Gauntlet, but I got wrecked like twice in a row when I tried to do it earlier. Although I I think I only had one of the needle upgrades, or the pin, or whatever it's called. No, the needle upgrades, I was right. I have not played Tamagotchi Life yet. I didn't play the first one either. So I feel like I missed out on that whole thing. I saw Northern Line playing it, and it seems funny, but I just don't know if it's my thing exactly. I also haven't played Pokopia, which was also really big, but I didn't play that either. But I've never been one for like those kind of like life simmy games or like Minecraft style stuff, so I think that might be why. I could also go to the Underworks if I wanted. What happens if you show up to the oh, is it just locked? I was like, I wondered if you could show up through that way. I have read Spire in the, well, I guess I've read most of Spire in the Woods. I am working on a video on it. That's like a full reading and analysis video. I'm about 7 chapters through it. The video is probably going to be like 4 hours long, but very similar to my left-right game video. But I've been enjoying it so far. Another cool story in the sense that like I was reading it and I was like, there was some things with the main characters that I was like, this is really like kind of messed up. And then I realized like, oh, that's intentional. And then the story got a lot more interesting to me. Okay, I need to, I'm trying to keep forgetting what I'm trying to do in this game. Oh, I need to upgrade my pin, my needle, goodness. Which means getting back to one of the Bell Beast stations. I could go through the Ventrica, but I think I'm just gonna go this way instead. Who's Lila? I'll have to see. I'll check that out. I haven't played like a really like super narrative heavy game in a really long time, actually. Like when my reference point for those is always like 999 and Virtue's Last Reward and Zero Time Dilemma, which I really loved, but it's been a long time since I've played like a super narrative focus. Another game that I really love is Blueprints, which I need to get back to because I'm almost have done everything to get like the true-ish ending. Like, I don't think there is like a real true ending, but I've almost done what I need to do to get like a fancier ending. So it's really fun. But Blueprints, that's a really fun game, and like I have like a notebook sitting around somewhere that has probably like 20 pages of physical notes that I had to take on it for like all of the puzzles that are in there. I love games that make me take copious amounts of notes. And I should play through Myst at some point because my older brother and my dad especially love Myst, but I never got into it. And my brother was saying that Blueprints is very similar. Oh, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, yeah. That, I think the movie took place... Oh, I have the white key too, but I'm sure I'll use this, but I'm not gonna go down there yet because I want the nail upgrade. Yeah, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, really good book. But yeah, definitely a lot of concerning things. Can you see the back of my hair? There's no hair on the back of my head. It's just completely bald. I have a secret form of male pattern baldness that just makes the back of my head completely bald. Yeah, the cast on One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest is insane. It's Danny DeVito, Christopher Lloyd, Jack Nicholson. It's like, it's all heat. I'm working on a short horror story. I guess it's horror-ish. It's more like drama-ish, but I am working on one. But, you know, it's like, it's intimidating to even try to write something because I've, you know, critiqued so many things. So I've put a lot of effort into it, and it's only like 20% of the way done. But I've got cool ideas for like what the story is going to be about, and I know how it's going to end and everything. But I feel like whenever I want to write a story, I always envision it mostly as like a movie or something. So I'm working on that, which will be, I'm hoping it'll come out good eventually. Let's see here. I gotta go to Bellhart. There's no 1/4 bald option. That's a shame. Animated series is crazy. That's so much. Props to you. That's so much effort. That's crazy. I feel like I can only do text-based stuff, or like I was talking about it on one of my earlier streams, but I have also been working on an internet horror series that's like in the same vein as 3D Workers Island, where it's all screenshots. So that I just need to get more ideas for it. And there's like one specific character design that I have such a perfect vision for in my head, but I just don't know if I could even replicate it in real life. And it's like, that feels like it's kind of like the crux of a big portion of the story. So I need to think about how I would possibly do that. What does this guy sell? Anything useful? I guess a spool fragment would be kind of cool. Do I have rosaries I could spend? Yeah, I was saying this the other day, but I'm not like, when it comes to like visual art, I'm not artistic at all. My wife is, she's super good at that stuff, but I am, that is not my thing. In fact, the internet horror series I'm working on is kind of based around that constraint. Like there's going to be some pictures in it that are supposed to be like child drawings. Mostly because I can't draw anything, so that's the way to do it. I need to get the last polyp thing, polyp heart, to get that charm. I also need to go down to the Weaver Nest. Probably do that after this. Yeah, the polyp. I don't love the polyp heart quest because it feels like, I mean, right now I think I've gotten 5 out of the 6 or 4 out of the 5. I forget how many there are. I feel like I always stumble upon those very naturally, and then the last one I can never find. And I end up just running around Shellwood until I eventually cave and just look it up. But when I was first playing the game, I couldn't do that because I was playing when it first released, so there's a lot of stuff like that where there was just not any information out about things I needed to find. Oh, it's just right here? Never mind, I love this quest. It's the easiest quest ever. Okay. Gonna go turn this in. Come to Brazil, like on a tour. Grey Root. The Tiki Toby mask mod. You guys see, I don't know if you guys watched the stuff about the new Star Fox game, but they have like Star Fox VTuber avatars that you can use in the new game. Never thought I'd see the day. Well, it's cool that I have fans out in Brazil. Pelo eu não falo português. It's the most I know. Make the camera worth it somehow. Yeah, I'm one of the idiots that bought that stupid camera. I bought the Switch 2 like when it released, like the day it came out, and I was at the store buying it, and I don't know what happened, but I just like panic bought that stupid camera. Like I was like, I need the camera, and I've never once used it. Yeah, I don't know anything of the Welsh language. I just know that Gareth Bale is one of the most well-known, if not the most well-known, Welsh soccer players. I guess Gareth Bale plays golf now, so one of the most well-known Welsh golf players. I believe Morgan as a surname, like as a surname's last name, right? Yeah, Morgan as a surname is like has some Welsh origins, if I'm not mistaken. So I've got that going for me. Yeah, I really did have a thing of impulsive thoughts. That was, I panicked. I almost did make a video the other week where I created my own creepypasta, my own Toy Story creepypasta, but I ran out of ideas. And the reason I was even going to make a Toy Story creepypasta was because I was watching a Chazington video that had like a really funny Toy Story edit in it, and I was like, that'd be funny to do a creepypasta based on that. This is not my first playthrough, by the way. I've beaten this game a couple times already. Friend inside me. Watch out for Johnny Juice. Thank you, Wayland. Wayland Lee, Waylandy, I don't know how to pronounce that. I do need to do another 2-sentence guess at some point. You got an enemy in me. That's good too. We could do some of that. It could be like yeah, it'd be like You gotta, like, I heard the music in the background. It sounded like You Got a Friend in Me, but it sounded like Randy Newman was actually in pain. Like he was, he was having, there was some sort of like, somebody in the booth was making him record this and he didn't want to be doing it. Although to be fair, in I Will Go Sailing No More, it sounds like that when he hits the high note anyway. There's probably a Toy Story creepypasta somewhere out there already. The only good like horror set piece I thought about it would be Woody melting a toy to death in an easy bake oven. I think that would be a good thing to put in there. And then like the easy bake oven, since it's a toy, is also sentient. SCP-5935. If it's by DJ Cactus, I should definitely check it out because I really like all of his stuff. The Black Friday incident, that's the Toy Story creepypasta. I might have to give that one a read. It's boss time. The Moss Mother. Oops. Perspective of the toys from Sid's house. Yeah, that'd be kind of interesting, like the way that he, conducted horrifying experiments on them. It's kind of interesting because in Toy Story 1, yeah, there's the whole Sid thing where, like, essentially Woody reveals his sentience to Sid. But that doesn't really come back until Toy Story 4, which has a lot of like them playing with the fact that the toys are sentient, which I actually really liked that aspect of Toy Story 4. I thought it was funny. But yeah, they don't touch on that in 2 or 3 at all, really. But I'm a bit of a Toy Story 4 defender in the first place. I actually think it's pretty good. But now I'm weirded out because they're doing Toy Story 5. And like I shouldn't be that skeptical because I was not a Toy Story 4 fan, and then I didn't think I would like it, and then I ended up liking it. But Woody's back in Toy Story 5, and I'm like, wait a minute. That's the whole point of Toy Story 4. That's the reason I was okay with Toy Story 4, because I was like, oh, it's an ending to Woody's character, but I guess he's just back now. Maybe it's a different Woody. Sid died. That's why he's not in any of the other movies. They killed Sid. Now, she shows up in Toy Story 3, like, as a cameo. He's the garbage man. Which, I don't know what the animator, like, what the people were thinking of, but jokes, I don't know if it was supposed to be like, oh, look at him, he's just a garbage man, but Sid was probably making, like, $35 an hour with full benefits, so probably in a pretty good position. And he was going off to college. He's probably going to like a $70,000 a year college. He's gonna end up with. I guess he was around. Never mind. He probably would have studied like software engineering back in 2010, and then made a whole bunch of money because that's just how things used to work. Andy became a tech billionaire. Andy started like a tech company that used that, like, their whole mission statement was like, we're giving toys, we're recycling toys for other kids through the power of AI. And he got $35 billion of venture capital investment in a worthless company, and then he sold it and he made off like a billionaire, and then the company went under. That's my headcanon. Right, given the time period of Toy Story, it would be more like he was like instead of an AI bro, he would have been like a Web3 crypto bro. He's like, we're using the power of the blockchain to give toys to people. And yeah, he sold that company for $35 billion. Yeah, I have siblings in I've got a brother who does cybersecurity and another brother he's like a software engineer. Another brother who's getting his degree in software engineering. Um, and yeah, I've heard it's a bit tougher of an industry now than it was a few years back. I'm I'm just sitting over here with my like 75 credits of a marketing degree that I still need to finish. I like the Toy Story movies, but I also just like Pixar in general. I grew up on them, and I do like all four Toy Story movies. I think at the very least, Toy Story. If you like Toy Story 1, then watch Toy Story 2 because it's really funny. Okay, I still haven't explored one part of this. I need to go do that real quick. How do I get up there again? Oh, here we go. Can any of my siblings say they were mentioned in the comment section of winning a video? Probably not, you know? That's a good point. You've stopped watching movies because they all make you cry. I do cry at movies way more than I think the average person. Especially Pixar movies will get to me. It's really just if the soundtrack is really good. And they got Michael Giacchino doing the soundtracks for a lot of Pixar movies, and his stuff always makes me emotional. His Lost soundtrack, man, that puts me out every time. I did not cry during Project Hail Mary. I mean, I already knew it was going to happen because I'd read the book. And the tone of Project Hail Mary was kind of different from what I was expecting. It was a lot more humorous, like very quippy, kind of, which I didn't like love the humor in the movie, but I still liked the movie. I'll just say that Ryland Grace felt like a little bit Quirk Chungus at times. But he was also kind of like that in the book. It's just not exactly what I was picturing. The true worst example of a character that was like quirked up to oblivion is Robin from Stranger Things. That was like, it's like surreal going back and watching the third season of Stranger Things and seeing Robin as a character, and like she's just kind of normal. And then the most recent season, I was like, whoa, they certainly changed a lot of her character. but I didn't, I didn't I didn't cash in on the Stranger Things 5 zeitgeist when it was going around, mostly because I didn't really have that much to say on it, but yeah. I have watched Interstellar. I really love Interstellar. But I'm just a big Christopher Nolan fan. I like Christopher Nolan. I even like Tenet. Um, yeah, I'm excited for his Odyssey movie. I really liked Oppenheimer, so his style just really appeals to me. But yeah, the ending of Interstellar always makes me cry. Interstellar is also one of those movies, like every time I sit down to watch it, I'm like, it's 3 hours long, and every time my wife and I sit down to watch it, I'm like, oh, we'll just watch like the first half, and we always watch the whole thing because I'm just locked in the entire time. Yeah, I don't even know if it's even that like hot of a take that Stranger Things should have stopped after season one. I mean, it's like I think there was potential there, but it's weird because I guess it depends on what you, because it's obviously a very popular show, so people are still really enjoying it, and I'm happy for them. But like, if you're somebody who was into it because you liked like the horror vibes and like the small scale of it, then obviously that went away after the first season. And that's what I personally enjoyed, and I just kind of watched the rest of it out of obligation. But by the time it was over, I was just like, yeah, I was not vibing with it all. Although I did really enjoy the fourth season, so it was just that last season that did not really click with me. And even by like season three, I was kind of getting over with it as well. A collab with Rockland Graves. I've watched some of his stuff before. I really enjoy um, his channel. I think like for most people, and even for myself to an extent, like Stranger Things over the course of the 45 years that it took for that show to finally be completed, it's like it didn't feel like that jarring to me. But then if you like go back and watch season one and then watch season five, there's a very stark contrast between the two. It's kind of insane. But I think like Drew Gooden's video on it was probably my favorite, just because I think he really, he had some really good takes on it. But I think I just tend to agree with a lot of Drew Gooden's media opinions in general. But Stranger Things was just a victim of its own popularity, right? Like it was so. I watched the first season of Stranger Things the night it released, and I don't even know why. Like I don't even know why I even how I found it, but I was just like, I remember I was up late at night. It was a Saturday night, and then I watched the whole thing in one night. I was like, this is awesome. And the next day, I was hanging out with my friends, like, you guys all need to watch this show. And then like a week later, it was like the most popular thing ever, and I was like, whoa. Yeah, Box of Penguins, you nailed it. I hate that trope of world-ending consequence, and then the next season things are like relatively back to normal. Season 4 to 5 was the biggest like example of that, the biggest offender, where it's like season 4 literally seems like it's gonna end with, I guess, spoilers for Stranger Things if you're interested in watching that, but uh it's like it ends with the upside down seeming like it's infiltrating the real world, and the next season they're just like, we put some band-aids over it, now we don't have to worry about that. And it also kept adding in a billion new characters and then not getting rid of them, and then like to the point where, and then it just became so uninterested in like, I think, actually discussing some of the more interesting facets of like a show set in the 80s, specifically with Will coming out, which I think could have been a really powerful storyline, but it like I think it would have been interesting for a show to treat the 80s like it was the actual 80s, and like to actually look at like the prejudices. I mean, obviously there's a lot of prejudice now, but the more maybe widespread and open prejudice that existed back in those times, but it just felt like it wasn't interested in doing that. And then that coming out scene is also just kind of comical because there's like 50 characters in it, and I'm like, why is Will sharing this emotional scene with like Murray, who has done nothing this season but make dad jokes and quips the entire time? But yeah, yeah, season three aesthetically was really cool, and I liked Billy as a character again because I think Billy explored some of like the rougher sides of, you know, characters that probably would have existed back in the 80s. But it just felt like the show was really concerned with being like a feel good experience. Um, and that just, I don't know, it didn't feel like it started out like that. It felt like it started out with a lot more stakes. And again, there was just like so many characters that completed their character arcs in like season two. And then they were just like, okay, I guess we don't need to do anything with these characters ever again. But like that was just a weird choice to me, that it's like characters like Steve or Jonathan, I'm like, they haven't really done anything. Or Mike. Mike had a really cool arc in the first two seasons of like, well, the first season he has the whole L stuff, but season two is like Mike in a meta way is like having to deal with the fact that he's not the main character of the show anymore. And I thought it was like a really cool like deconstruction of that feeling of it. It was a really cool plot. But then they just kind of didn't know what to do with him. Oh, a box of penguins. What you're describing there is the George Lucas theory. Spool extender on the left, thank you. Because George Lucas, thank you, was the his wife was like his first wife, I believe, was like a really famous Hollywood script doctor when he was writing the original trilogy. And then by the time the prequels came out, they had gotten divorced, and you can definitely feel her absence. But yeah, I think like Drew Gooden did a really good job of just like they had like 2 years, full years just to write it. And like I get that writing a show and having that much pressure on you is probably a pressure that I could not even imagine. But in an industry where so many people feel like they're overworked or they're not given that much time to put out quality work, it feels like a bit of a waste to not put more effort into it when you have that good of a deal that you've hammered out with Netflix. Somebody asked if I've been drinking from the same water bottle. I have not. The tap water where I live is not very good. Despite living in Washington, which usually has delicious tap water, but we live on the coast, so it's kind of gross. So I just drink from like plastic Fred Meyer water bottles, and they've been new ones. Marky Mar, you're just finding out that I stream games because I just started doing this like 3 days ago. Yeah, writing endings is incredibly difficult. Um, like even trying to imagine like for my 5 NAF series, like even trying to imagine a way to end that is already daunting. I'm jealous of your delicious water that you have over there. Okay, what do I need to do? I guess I could do the High Halls Gauntlet. Yeah, let's try that. Embarrass myself again. Back when I lived in Vancouver, Washington, the tap water was really good. Washington State has, besides Alaska, so if you, I guess in the continental United States, Washington has more glaciers than every other state combined. So a lot of glacial runoff water. Wait, Did I not get the pull-apart tool? Did I just not finish that quest and not pay attention to it because I was looking at chat or something? Probably. You say, why is my left hand kind of vibrating? It's because I'm shaking my knee. I'm a chronic knee shaker. We've done like filters and stuff, but it still tastes weird. Like it's just, I think it's because like, you know, I think they're like, maybe they're just desalinating salt water. But yeah, but I'm also just very particular when it comes to the taste of my water, which I know is a dumb thing to be, but like this is gonna sound absolutely insane, but like when I make top ramen, I boil bottled water because it does not, because the water makes the ramen taste bad like the tap water does, even after it's boiled. But that might just be purely psychological. I should dig up a well. The water table is probably extraordinarily shallow here. That's how it is in all of Washington. That's why there's like, you're rare to find a basement in Washington, at least where I've lived, at least in like Western Washington, because the water table's up so high that it's like you can't dig down to a basement. Versus a state like Utah or Colorado, where I think they have to dig pretty far down for their foundation, and then it's like dig an extra foot to put in a basement. So that's why they all have basements over there. Do you think in England do they call it Colorado? Well, Colorado is just the Spanish word for colorful. Oh, there's the polyp pouch. You're talking about Love Never Dies, the sequel to Phantom of the Opera? Yeah, Lindsay Ellis has an amazing video on that, and it's absolutely insane what that is. Andrew Lloyd Webber is a very interesting figure. I need to like research more about him, but everything I've seen about him is like, yeah, just very much somebody who has a lot of genius inside of him, but then uses that to make questionable decisions, which I think is most people, but it's just funny to see. Am I gonna do the abortion quest line? I will. I think you need to do it to get the true ending to get to Act 3. If you're talking about the Grey Root thing. Grand Bellway. The last time I did the Grey Root quest, I got the Parasite ending. And that the quest line that I'm referring to is you get a parasite and then you get it taken out of you, which is why they refer to it as the abortion one. Let's see. I need to equip my polypart trunk, but I'm also gonna get screwed because I don't have any of like the tool pouch things. Let's see. Greetings from Germany. Nice, nice. I had an uncle and his family. They lived in Frankfurt, Germany, but they were in the U.S. Air Force, which is why they lived there. So they lived in like fake Germany on an Air Force base. But I was saying yesterday, I have an uncle and aunt who live in this is going terribly. Who live in Paris. That's pretty cool. My wife and I would love to go visit them someday, but the price of plane tickets is always absurd to get over there, and extra absurd now because of the price of gas. So, but we would love to go. My uncle's he's an Imagineer, so he designs rides for Disney over there, and it would be fun to go to Paris and to visit Paris Disneyland. I'm probably not finished. I mean, I could definitely get one of the Silksong endings today, just like the regular one for sure. But I want to do the Act 3 stuff. Unfortunately, that means that there might be a good amount of the stream that's just me completing side quests, which is not very thrilling. But you know, we'll find some banter in there. I got to level up my banter anyway. These guys always wreck me. Anytime I'm playing a game like this and like an enemy shows up, like in this case, the voice clip that always goes through my mind, it's very specific. It's from Avengers Infinity War, and it's right before Thanos fights Tony Stark, and he says, "Come on!" I imagine that every single time I see an enemy like that. I don't know why my brain works like that, but it does. I actually don't really listen to that much Nirvana. I need to listen to them more because, you know, Washington band, very famous and influential Washington band. But I just haven't dedicated time to going through their discography. I tell you, I've been listening to a lot of Jim Croce or Crucci, I forget how you pronounce his last name, or Cross, some people say, but sings Time in a Bottle and Don't Mess Around with Jim. Super good artist. Oh my goodness. And his stuff is really great. And Tomorrow's Gonna Be a Brighter Day. That guy. Oh, we're already here? Jeez. We're just gonna be a coward until these cogflies die. I was hoping they would last a little bit longer than that. The part is the tricky part is not dying. Oh no. This is real gameplay right here, guys. Oh my gosh. That was the blunder of the century. Nope. Okay. Absolutely riveting. Please, one of you die. This wouldn't be so shameless if I had had like the tool pouch upgrades, because my cog flies probably would have killed at least one of them, but my tools are so weak that this is what I'm having to resort to. Oh, we got one of them. There we go. Yeah, the high hall is coward corner. I think if you have the upgraded tools, and if you get the like chakra to help you, or Garmin and Zaza, the gauntlet's actually not that bad. But I just didn't want to go through the effort of doing all that. But I'm gonna want the tools for Groll too. So maybe I should just grind and get better tool pouches and stuff. I don't even know where you find all that stuff. You made me with a happy shirt on Tamagotchi Life. Glad to see it. I'm glad to see it. Family Guy for the PS2. Unfortunately, I don't own a PS2. I've never owned a PlayStation console, but depending on how this next generation goes, I'll probably switch from Xbox to PlayStation. Okay, I got the thing. The reason I even like, well, the reason I like Xbox is because my friends had an Xbox back in the Xbox 360 era. But I do actually, I'm a Game Pass enjoyer, just because I don't like, it's it's more expensive now than it used to be. It's like $23 a month, but for all the stuff you get, if you're like able to, if you have the time to like consistently play stuff, I still think it's a decent deal. And more importantly, if you're like me and you make sure to cancel it, like essentially like treat every month like you're going to cancel it until you start playing something again, then restart it, and that you end up saving a lot of money. But yeah, that's why I like that. That's why I'm a fan of Xbox. And the other reason I don't like PlayStation is I don't like the stick layout, which is a dumb reason to not like PlayStation, but the two sticks on the bottom I just never got used to. But I don't know, maybe I'll just get all three at some point. If I ever got like super rich, my rich person shameless thing I'd buy would be a PlayStation 4 with PT installed on it, which is probably like $2,000 at this point. That would be my shameless expensive thing I'd buy. Yeah, I really do want to play Bloodborne. And Demon Souls. I haven't played either of those two. I like the From Software games a lot. Big Dark Souls 3 fan. But I love the original Dark Souls, and I really love Sekiro. And I like Elden Ring too. But Dark Souls 3 is the one Dark Souls 3 and Sekiro are the two that I feel like I go back to the most. Just because they are linear. And like Elden Ring was a fantastic like first experience, but now it's like I don't want to start a game that's going to be that long. But if we're talking about the Souls-like game that I play the most, it's legitimately Lies of P. That's the one that I always want to go back to the most. Despite the fact that I have not played the DLC yet. I've not played any of the Fallout games. I started Fallout 4 and it just didn't really click with me. But I have a really hard time with any Bethesda game. I just didn't grow up on them at all, and something about like the engine and that style just really doesn't appeal to me. Like I don't know. This is like probably a dumb thing to compare it to, but I love the BioShock series, and so I just end up comparing so many games to BioShock, and I have not found many games that are on that same level. Well, that was horrible. I mean, recently I played like Resident Evil Village. I felt like felt similar to BioShock in some ways, which I really liked. But yeah, it's just hard. That series has kind of ruined a lot of stuff for me. Which again is not fair to whatever game I'm judging it against, but I can't help it. Who's my main in Smash Bros? I've not played Smash Bros in a really long time, but when I played in Ultimate, I really like Ness, and I really like who else do I like? I'm forgetting. Ness was definitely always one of my mains. He's been my main like throughout the series. In Smash 4, I loved Mega Man. Oh my goodness, this is terrible. Joker, I think, is fun to play as. How does Silksong compare to BioShock? Not a ton of overlap between the two. But, you know, Silksong is probably my favorite game of all time, so it compares favorably. That was unreasonably close. I hate this stupid puzzle because, like, it doesn't make any sense. Like, I know you're supposed to line them up, but how are you supposed to know what the starting one is? Like, is there an objective way to know what the starting one should look like? Or do you just have to go until you find one that connects? There we go. Liza P string, a thing of P. Maybe I should do a Liza P stream eventually, but that would mean moving my Xbox to this room. That looks like it goes together. That looks like it goes together. Pro Meteor, I also struggle to replay Infinite. It's funny, like, as a first-time experience, I think Infinite was my favorite, but definitely has the least replayability of those three. The one that I replay the most is BioShock 2. The story is not as good as the first BioShock, but the gameplay is really great. I have seen Bo's Afraid. I liked it. I have played Cuphead before as well. I played that for the first time in college, and I played it after I played Hollow Knight, so it only took me like a few hours to beat, but I really like Cuphead. I have a Cuphead board game that's kind of fun. It's not, it's like very basic, but it's like a fun little campaign-based board game. Lore time. These are automatous singers that were created to ensure that Grandmother Silk stayed in her cocoon. At least as far as I'm concerned, that's what the lore is. I'm sure the music there was great, but like I said, I cannot hear it. So that's all the melody pieces. I mean, I could go just fight Lace. That's what I thought. I could just fight Lace, and then not fight Grandmother Silk until I get the true ending. My favorite Dark Souls boss, like, if we're just talking about the first Dark Souls, I mean, Gwyn is always awesome because of the lore ramifications around him. But honestly, in the first Dark Souls, it's like, there's not very many bosses that I find, like, super fun to fight. But I also really like that game. But it's like, the actual boss experience is never super engaging. Dark Souls 3, Soul of Cinder, I really enjoy. I think that's a really fun fight. Again, with cool lore implications. And then Champion Gundyr took me forever when I first played the game, but now he's one of my favorite fights. And Gale, he's really good too, or how we pronounce his name. I really like his fight as well. Taurus Demon. That when I first played, so the first time I ever played Dark Souls was in high school, because I think I got it for free for some reason. Like they just gave it to people who had Xboxes, and I like totally rage quit at Taurus Demon. I was like, this game is terrible. I hate this. Then I went back to it years later and really loved it. Yeah, Bioshock 2 is interesting because like the gameplay I think is definitely better. The story's not nearly as good, and the director of the game didn't come back for the second one, which I think is why it kind of plays it safe in a lot of ways. The DLC is really good. Um, Bioshock Infinite has a lot of issues in like its storytelling, but it is incredibly impressive that like Rapture is such a cool environment for a video game, and then they kind of just did it again with Columbia. Like it's another really interesting location. Is really cool. Oh, Artorias is yeah, it's probably the most fun boss to fight in DS1, huh? Okay, should I just go do the rest of this bench to make sure? Yeah, Infinite, it's hard for me to judge it like properly because I didn't know anything about it when I played it, you know? Like there was no hype behind it. I played it like 10 years after it came out, and so a lot of the issues that people have with it, I just didn't phase me as much because I bought it for like $2, but I definitely see its flaws. But the first time I was playing it, I wasn't like really doing a deep analysis of the story or anything. It was just all vibes based, and the vibes were cool. All right. Oh. I find the trick with this fight, and I know I'm not doing it optimally, but it's just to wait for her to do her parry and then just hit her right after she does it. You kind of just have to like bait her into it, which feels a little bit lame to fight that way because you're not like proactively doing anything, but that's the way that I've always done it. You'd think Lace would eventually figure out that spamming the parry is not going to work out for her, but alas. Nice. I feel like whenever I stagger her, I almost always knock her off the edge. Like, you can't hit her as much because of that. I forget when she starts dashing back. Oh, there it is. Oh. How did I get hit there? No. That was risky. Okay, perfect. Please do the Tails Tall one. I don't even think I've read that creepypasta yet. Oh, I forgot you get a silk heart, huh? Yeah, if you don't do damage if she falls off the stage. That usually happens to me. I don't think it happened to me during this fight. Yeah, very similar to King Bob-omb, you're correct. Oh, interesting. You do damage. It's cool. You're right. I did say doo-doo. It's the next level comedy of the Davis Morgan stream. Okay, what should I do? I guess I just gotta start doing side quests and stuff now, huh? Grandma time or white ward time? Maybe I'll just do white word, yeah. Well, I'll go back to the first shrine and see if there's any quests I could do. There's one. Is it? Oh, I forgot I had a quest I could deposit. I do wish this game gave you a better way to track your side quests because I always am like missing one. I never know which one it is. What's this guy sell? Simple key. I should probably get that at some point. I don't think I've been... Oh, yeah, I definitely haven't been to the... Whatever. The putrefied ducts yet. So maybe I should try making my way over there at some point. Maybe I'll just do white word now. That's down. It's like way down by the coral chambers, right? Yeah, farming rosaries. The last time I played, I farmed a whole bunch of rosaries around here, but I forget what I really needed those for. Like, what was I trying to buy that I needed a ton of rosaries? I don't know. Find the green guy yet? If you're talking about the mantis dude, I've not gotten him yet because I didn't have a simple key by the time I found him. I need to get more masks too. I only have 6 masks right now. The Grinch. The Grinchler. I don't have any publicly available writing yet, if that's what you're asking. When I do write it, I'll probably just post it somewhere for free. Like, well, I'll for sure post it somewhere for free. I just don't know where exactly I would post it. But that probably won't be for a while. I also need to go to the flea master dude. I haven't even talked to him once yet. I found a decent amount of his fleas so far. There's a surgeon's key that you find somewhere. I forget if you find it in Whiteward or not. You do find it in Whiteward? That's good. Coral Commandment. I think to get the true ending, you need to have moved the fleas to their last area. I think you do need to get all the fleas for the true ending. And there's definitely something you can get up here. Or I guess down there, but you have to go up here first. Oh, it's a spool fragment. I've got lots of those, I just don't have any masks. Is there anything secret up here? I forget. Oh, these guys always get me. There is a Tommy Taffy movie coming out. It's, Crispin Glover is playing Tommy Taffy. I'm curious to see how that movie ends up. I don't have the highest hopes for it. I'm also curious to see if it's based off of the book. Ooh, Injector Band. Actually, it's one of my favorites. Do I want to go down here? Is that gonna just take me to the Underworks? Oh, it just takes me down here? Dang it. Already been down here. I don't even think I have enough money to buy anything from the vendor here. Crafting kit. Or the architects. Oh, I can't get that yet. Oh, I think I needed money the last time I was playing because I was just trying to buy all the charms. How much was that crafting kit? So close. Well, I guess I'll just go back to Whiteward. Maybe I can try to farm, Actually, I won't farm rosaries on those guys because they drop, like, nothing. Yeah, I'm not optimistic on the Tommy Taffy movie. I just don't. I don't know if the source material has ever really been that promising, but you know, maybe they'll do something good with it. I mean, not good because it's Tommy Taffy, but something entertaining. I could also go up to the right and get the area next to Songclave, like the outside area. I might just do that real quick. I haven't fought Father of the Flame yet. And I also have not seen Shelby Oaks yet either. Father of the Flame is like one of my favorite. It's not like the best fight, but the whole area is really fascinating to me. Has like a Wicker Man vibe to it. Oh, there's something up there I can get that I haven't gotten yet. Let's go get that. And then get some rosaries here while I'm at it. I've not watched Peaky Blinders yet, but I've heard really good things about it, so I should get to it eventually. Oh, cool. Mask shard. I still think I need 2 more, yeah. Yeah, creepypastas that would make a good movie. I mean, I think a lot of them could be. Just depends on how they're adapted. Left Right Game would be good. It would just, yeah, it all just depends on how, you know, how the author is able to adapt it from a story to a screenplay, which is, you know, often a lot trickier than it seems. You could probably do a pretty good pen pal movie, maybe. But you'd probably have to change some things to make it flow better. Dang it. Yeah, I hope Backrooms is good. But I'm curious to see, you know, as like, especially with Iron Lung doing so well, like I'm curious if we're going to see more YouTuber movies. Is there just a flea up there, huh? Like, because I think now Hollywood's kind of caught on that it's like, oh, if a YouTuber makes a movie, it might do quite well. but to be fair, not all YouTubers are as big as like have as big of an audience as Markiplier, so maybe we won't see that. But it's funny to see it like going back to that, because back in the day there was like Smosh the movie, and I think Shane Dawson was in a few movies and stuff. And back the day, it was like, you know, you did YouTube hopefully as a way to eventually make a movie or make it into Hollywood. And now it's not really the case anymore. And you do have obviously like the Raka Raka, Talk to Me, and what is it, Let Her In? Is that the other one? I haven't seen that one yet, but with them it feels less like they were huge YouTube personalities and more, you know, and their movie was more independent too. Same thing with like Zach Kreger from Whitest Kids You Know making weapons. Yeah, I am preparing for the Silicon Soul. Oh, Shane Dawson's Smiley. Yeah, Chazzy does a good video about that. But yeah, I'm trying to do the Silicon Soul stuff. I've already done all the... I beat Lace for the second time. But I still have to go through Bile Water. Maybe I'll go up through Memoriam? Oh, I need to go back down to White Word. And get the Surgeon's Key that I missed. Yeah, let's do that. But I need to get more memory lockets too, so I can get the Vesticrest. And I don't have like any of the crests either, so I should go fight the Savage Beastfly and get the other crests. I forget which ones, where those are at. Do I really need to fight the Savage Beastfly? Gotta fight him twice. But the second time I always just cheese the fight. Anytime he summons the ads, I just run over to the side and then throw tools at them until they die. Then I go back and hit him some more and then repeat over and over again. This is like my fourth time playing. I've beaten this game before a few times. I beat Hollow Knight like a dozen times, so that's why I'm pretty far in with just the 6 masks. The first time I played this, I was getting absolutely wrecked pretty much all the way through. Except for like, there were certain bosses the first time around that like I think the what's her face? The Grandmother Silk, I think only took me either 1 or 2 tries, but for the most part, I struggled with a lot of the bosses. I think there is a Ted the Caver found footage YouTube series. People have told me to watch it, but I haven't seen it yet. Slender Mansion. It's funny when my wife saw that I did a Slender Mansion video, she thought that I just made up that term. Like she's like, I thought you just made that up one day. I'm like, no, it's a real thing. Oh my goodness. Having 6 masks is horrifying because you can only get hit 3 times. Making any video on Slenderman is always like an interesting, like it's always interesting because I never know. I'm like, should I bring up like the stabbings? I don't feel like am required to bring that up, but it does mean that just like discussing Slenderman, it has this like weird aura about it that like it's impossible to kind of separate that in my mind. But it's like, but it's one of those things where it's like if those girls weren't going to be obsessed with Slenderman, they would have found something else, you know? It's like, I think at the time there were a lot of people that were like, oh, Slenderman is evil. Like it was because of Slenderman. It's like, no, it's because of mental illness, but... Oh, I do eventually probably want to make a video on Urban Spook. I just need to find out if I have anything interesting to say about it that hasn't already been said, you know? Yeah, with the Slenderman girls, they were definitely... I think like one of them was more of like the ringleader, but yeah, definitely suffered from mental illness. I mean, it's kind of by default when they did what they did, you know, they had to have been suffering from something, but a fascinating case regardless. Is this the surgeon's key? Yeah. I have not read the Bee Sting yet, but I'll put it on the list. My stack of books is running low. Thank you, actual Real John Jack, for your super chat. I wouldn't know how to send one either. I barely know how to set up a stream. I have not checked out the pre-Skinamarink stuff, but I should because I really enjoyed Skinamarink. The most aura-filled boss fight. Oh, this boss fight gave me so much trouble the first time I played. And it'll probably give me trouble this time around too. A cool fight though. I am proud of you, actual Real John Jack. But it's funny because there's like certain boss fights that like somebody might think are like unengaging or I might think are unengaging, but then like you watch somebody else play it and it's like the way they go about it is like way more interesting and engaging. So I think there's some fights like that where it's like I'm just playing it wrong and that's why I don't like them as much. I've not read the creepypasta My Buddy Sandman, but I will definitely put it on the list because I've been low on ideas lately for creepypastas to cover. Non-horror book recommendations, definitely Piranesi by Susanna Clark is really great. It's like a fantasy-ish thing, but like very like has like a psychological angle to it. It's really cool. I didn't know anything about it when I went into it, and I ended up loving it. It was my favorite book I read last year. Well. Oops. Talk about a tub of lard. Yeah, this is a Keith or Troy. I forget which one's the fat one. I think it might be Troy. T for Troy. Goodness. At least when he goes up in the middle like that, it gives you a bunch of free hits on him, but I've like never found out a good way to start dodging all this stuff. Oh my gosh. Dang it. Does Hornet have liquid hate? I don't think if she had liquid hate, this would be going a lot faster. I have read Catcher in the Rye. I read it in high school, I think my senior year. I may or may not have stolen the copy that I got from the library, and I still have it. But I didn't mean to steal it, but I got to the end of the year, and there was a fine to pay on it, and I was like, I couldn't find the book, so I was like, I'd rather just pay the fine than find the book, so I just paid the fine on it. So I still have like my high school copy of that. I think so far in this playthrough, the boss I've died the most to is the chef dude. I think I took like 4 or 5 tries on that boss. But this one might be up there. I have a really hard time with this fight. I feel like my brain does not work properly during this fight. Okay. I think there's just one more phase after this. Come on, please die. I just want it to be over. At least he did that attack again. There we go. Okay. My silk skills. I never use the silk skills. I gotta save that for the heals instead. Do I think Jeff the Killer would enjoy recreational pickleball? Pickleball is so big now. It was big when I lived in Idaho, and a lot of people played it there. I actually don't see it where I'm at, which is surprising because there's a lot of old people here. I feel like it's kind of an old person thing. Dang it. Oh, does this take me to the Underworks? I feel like it has to. It's the only place I don't have a map for. Hey, memory locket. Something that was kind of funny about the Slender Mansion is like, because I tend to regard Ben Drowned as being like a pretty good creepypasta. But like it's a little bit funny that it gets like lumped in. I guess they all kind of get lumped in, but like it just feels so different than like Tiki Toby or Jeff the Killer or Jane the Killer or Nina the Killer or whoever the killer. So it's like funny that Ben Drowned ended up there too. But I guess Slender Man also feels different than them as well, so don't know how it all ended up there. I guess I'll explore around here a little bit more. Oh, it's a gauntlet, isn't it? And I need to heal. This is way easier after getting the the pin upgrade, the needle upgrade. I cannot remember the name of the weapon. I can't remember if there's anything like worth getting down here. Because you typically like you can go. This can be one of the ways you access the Citadel, but I went the other way, so I can't remember if it's even worth it hanging out down here. Reading that Slender Mansion story was funny because of Trenderman, who's like, it's always fun to see people like describe what they think like peak fashion is, and he's like he wears a khaki pants and like I can't remember what else he wore, like a sweater vest maybe or something. I assume he looks like Matt Smith from Doctor Who. But it's just funny to see, yeah, the way that people interpret like, oh, this person's really has to be the most trendy person out there, so of course they're wearing khaki pants. But khakis were all the rage. I wore khakis. What would this thing in Quiet Madness made movie look like? I've thought about this. I feel like you'd have to do it as like a found footage style thing or like a mockumentary would be interesting. Like have people describing after the fact what they experienced. Let's see. I should maybe I'll just go do the Savage Beast Fly now. That Slenderman story was also funny in the way that the narrator just like so casually shrugs off the fact that Slenderman murdered her like adoptive parents. He truly is the best father. He didn't even remember her previous parents. Someone made me into unfiction like the genre. Any way to fix this? I don't know if I know what you mean. Isn't unfiction just like it's just fiction presented as real? Is that what the genre is generally? There's like a billion different subgenres of like analog horror and digital horror and unfiction, and I'm one of those people that just lumps it all together. I'm like, it all has a similar feeling about it. Being unfiction wouldn't even be that bad because the whole point is you're presenting yourself as real. So why would that be any different than just being real? In fact, a real person being put in nonfiction feels like that's not even a thing that could happen. I do not play Dead by Daylight. I've like watched some videos on it, and I always mix up Dead by Daylight with Until Dawn, even though I think that they're like very different games, but their names sound similar to me. But no, I've not played it. I don't really play any games that are online, really. The only time I ever did was when I played Destiny back in the day, like back in high school, but it was because I mostly just like the PvE co-op. I always find these guys weirdly hard to kill. I should at least hit that. Well, that was a fleet. Please don't kill me. Silksong Act 3, I really like the third act. It's got a lot of cool stuff in it. I've not played Killer 7. Like, anytime somebody asks me if I've played something so far, the answer is almost always no. Ask me if I've played Warcraft 3, because the answer is yes, like 15 times over. I have played Super Paper Mario, and I would love to play it again, but I would need to track down a copy of it for my Wii, and then also track down a CRT so I can actually play my Wii and have the sensor bar not lag. But I'm a really big fan of The Thousand Year Door is like one of my favorite games, so really enjoyed that. Really liked the remake as well. Oh, another flea. Oops. I also need to start the flea quest line. I haven't done that yet either. Dang it. I feel like I have to prefer the fleas to the grubs. I like the design of the fleas better, but also the reward you get from the fleas I feel like is cooler. There's more narrative stuff, and then the I mean, I guess you do get a pale ore from the grubs, but getting just a pale oil for doing all the flea stuff is cool. And you get to do the whole Fleatopia quest, which is fun. Anybody remember Grubhub? I was always a DoorDash loyalist. Oh, this is the last bell. I never got this one. Oh wait, no, I did get that bell. I just didn't hit this thing. False alarm. I can't fight the judge yet. Is this just where I came from? Oh no, I haven't been up here yet, I don't think. What, is he gonna be another flea? Oh, cool. Playing solitaire. I've like rarely even played solitaire. I should get into that, I guess. I love Balatro, which I know is not remotely similar to solitaire, but I was playing that last night. What am I doing in here? I need to go to the Bellway. Okay, I need to get to... Actually, it's probably faster just to go down this way. Can't remember if I mentioned this on one of my earlier streams, but the person that owns our house came by the other day and like made some comments. Like the landlord made comments about like how the yard didn't look very good, or like it's supposed to be our responsibility to do all the weeding and stuff, which I've spent so much time doing yard work, but this place was vacant for like 6 months and they didn't have anybody come to clean anything up. So there's just like an insane amount of weeds. And so I totally got roasted for that. So now I've just been doing yard work for days out there. And it's like, it is kind of satisfying, but there are so many weeds out there that it feels like I've made zero progress.
That's fine. Mario.
Yard work stream.
Faviona.
Okay, there's some stuff down here I haven't done yet. I watched Chazington's Jeff the Killer ownership video the other day. It was good. It's fun watching Chazington's stuff because he covers things that, like, I just was not young enough to really experience on the internet. Like, I was talking about this, I think, yesterday, but, like, Super Mario Logan and these, like, plushie channels, like, that was just never anything I would have been interested in. I think I was just too old by the time that stuff came out. So it's, like, fascinating to see him talk about that. What does my wife do for work? She works at a compounding pharmacy, so she makes medication. Her degree is in microbiology. Yeah, like Chesney's got like he has videos on like Tube Heroes, which again was like I never watched Minecraft YouTubers. My younger brother did, and I think my younger brother's a little bit older than Chazington, but yeah, it's just funny to see how even though the gap in age between me and Chazington probably isn't that big, it feels big because of like how quickly the internet and YouTube like became more like ubiquitous. Another one of these. I keep finding them. Yeah, I read Beloved sometime last year. It was really good. I'm actually reading another Toni Morrison novel right now called The Bluest Eye. That's also very good. I've not read Hurricane Season. Oh, I need a simple key, huh? Do I have one? I do. I have seen Weapons. I really enjoyed Weapons. It's cool to see Amy Madigan win the Oscar for her performance. Kindred by Octavia Butler. I need to read more of her stuff. I mean, I've read Bloodchild, short story by her, was really good. So For some reason, I always mix up Octavia Butler and Ursula K. Le Guin in my mind, and I don't know why. What's my favorite book and movie? My favorite book is To Kill a Mockingbird. My favorite movie, it's really hard. I feel like it switches a lot, but I mean, my favorite animated movie is Coraline. But like, I don't know. I mean, I really am a fan of. I like Christopher Nolan stuff, so I'm a big like Prestige fan. But there's also, I mean, I think the first Back to the Future movie is like kind of a perfect movie as well. Like I think it's just like perfectly paced and is never boring. I don't know if it's my favorite movie, but definitely one of the best movies I've ever seen. Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if Octavia Butler was influenced by Ursula K. Le Guin. I think probably just a lot of authors were influenced by Le Guin. I read what I read a book of Ursula K. Le Guin's this last year about a guy who could like change reality with his dreams, but I forget what the name of the book was. It was really good though. Lathe of Heaven, that's correct. Yeah, super good, super cool. Like, she was great at taking, like, you know, having these sci-fi elements, but then using them to, like, actually discuss, you know, how those things might be reflected in our society. It's really cool. Also, if I'm not mistaken, it takes place in Portland or around Portland. At least it's somewhere in the Pacific Northwest, so liked it for that reason too. Yeah, I don't really play many horror video games because they scare me so much. I mean, this last month I played through a bunch of Resident Evil games, which are pretty horror focused. At least certain Resident Evil games are. But the thing that scares me the most in Resident Evil is, of all of the ones I've played, Mr. X in 2 Remake always scares me whenever he shows up. I panic every time. I freaking hate these guys that throw the big bombs. Goodness. Oh my gosh. Whew. I do need to play Shipwreck 64. I've heard good things about it. And I do want to make more SCP content, but I just need to find ones that I want to cover and read more. I just haven't been reading a lot, which is of SCP stuff, that is, so it's hard for me to get an idea of what I want to cover in that genre. Oh, a flea. It's always a flea. Is there a hidden wall or anything over here? For some reason I thought there was. Maybe not. Ornstein and Smo. I have such horrible flashbacks to Ornstein and Smo. The first time I played, they gave me so much trouble. It's because I was just trying to use like the longsword and shield, and then I think I just ended up getting the halberd, and then I wrecked him. But the trying to do it with that longsword, and it was my first time playing Dark Souls, so it was so tough for me. Favorite game of all time? It's probably this. I mean, it was Hollow Knight, but I like this more than Hollow Knight. But I also really love like Super Mario 64, BioShock. I got a lot of games that I really enjoy. Tears of the Kingdom is up there as well. My favorite Zelda game, and I love the Zelda series, so it's got to be up there. I've been over here already. I think I have. Yeah, an SCP-001 proposal would be cool. Have I ever scrapped a video after working on it? Yeah, I've definitely scrapped scripts, but like videos, I've tried to record my Immortal video a couple times, and I keep scrapping it. So there's been that, but I feel like I rarely get to like there's definitely been some like 2-sentence guest videos that I've scrapped, either like 1 or 2 that I'm just recording it, and like 20 minutes into the recording I'm just not feeling it anymore, and so I just stop. So that does happen occasionally, where I'm trying to record something and then just stop. I'm not in the mood anymore and I do something else. Thoughts on the FNAF movies? I talked about these last night. I don't really like either of them. But I'm not like the biggest FNAF fan, so like I don't love that series enough for just the hype moments and aura to sustain me. And if you don't really care about the hype moments and aura in those movies, then there's not really much else to love. Because like, I mean, the visual design's cool, but like the script is pretty horrible, and the characters aren't really notable. So, I mean, I can have fun with them, but just not exactly my thing. Plus, I feel like the part of Five Nights at Freddy's that I like the way it kind of used to feel, where it was definitely like creepier and more in the background. That's just not at all what those movies are going for. So it doesn't even really have the part of the FNAF series that I enjoy the most. But also FNAF has not been like that since like FNAF 4, so I can't really say much about it. Also, I'm not even the biggest FNAF fan in general. Like, I haven't really even, I've played like a bit of the games, but I've mostly just read about them and watched stuff about them. And I find a lot of it really interesting, but I need to like go through and actually, I think the issue with the games for me is I don't find like the gameplay loop to be that entertaining. But my brother did play, and I do have a brother who is he was like really into FNAF back in the day, so he's able to feed me the lore because he plays all the games. But he said he thought I would really like Into the Pit, so I need to play that one. I should probably rest at that bench just to be safe. Oh, actually, I don't think I can get up there anymore. Oh, no, I can if I just go over here. But I will say with like the FNAF movies, I don't really like, I don't like I haven't seen the second Mario movie. I didn't really like the first one either. I'm not a big fan of movies that are like super hyper referential, that don't have like much going on under the surface, I'd say. And I kind of feel like we were in a period of time for a while, and I guess it's still going on, but like there was a time when like Marvel movies were like, that was like the biggest thing, and people got sick of it after a while, and then now it feels like we're just doing the exact same thing with video game movies. So I think we're gonna have like a decade of video game movies that just come out and make billions of dollars, and then we'll probably switch to something else that's, but I think it's just companies are finding out that like millennial nostalgia, or even like older Gen Z nostalgia, just makes a ton of money, and they've stopped the boomer nostalgia. What's my favorite Mom Jeans song? I mean, I really like, so this is this is Pod Racing. That one's classic, but probably a basic answer. There's a lot of stuff on that particular album that I'm forgetting the name of right now. Is it Puppy Love was their first one, right? Their second one is, I forget. But there's a lot of stuff on there that is pretty good. But I got into Mom Jeans after I got into Modern Baseball, and I definitely prefer Modern Baseball. I think the writing in Modern Baseball is more interesting. But Mom Jeans still has some really good stuff on there. Dang it. Yeah, it's interesting. Somebody said the MCU and its consequences, and it's fascinating because I think like, the MCU at beginning and like its run up to Endgame, I think is actually really fascinating. Like, because that wasn't a thing before that these big cinematic universes, and so I think the fact that they were able to do that is incredibly impressive, um, and like feels like a genuine cultural moment. But now it just feels like so many studios are fishing for that, and that is you know that's what makes it feel strange to me. Like it feels like desperate, I guess. And you're right that there are still a lot of really good movies being made. But yeah, they just don't typically perform super well at the box office. Did I miss something, or can I get something through here? Am I just back to where I started? Yeah, you're right. Cosmic dust. I feel like horror movies. Oh, the magma bell's over here, huh? Or the diving bell. I do feel like horror movies have been getting better. Like I feel like sometimes people romanticize the other thing with movies that I dislike, and it happens with literally all media, is when people act like now is the only time we are getting slop movies, which is just objectively not true. Like they used to release crappy slasher movies every single year that weren't, or just like these like garbage comedies over and over again that performed well at the box office. So it's not like a slop movie is a new concept, but it does feel more concentrated now, I think, because theaters are a less viable business model. So it's like the stuff that gets released has to be the ultra profitable stuff, and unfortunately that feels like the more slop oriented stuff. And even if you like that stuff, I don't think that's a bad thing at all, but I also think it's a fallacy to believe that that has never been the case before. Yeah, zombie movies. Zombie movies were the the worst aspect, like the culmination of zombie movies was World War Z, which is the World War Z book is really good and absolutely nothing like the movie, and they just pretty much only took the title from it and then made like a very generic zombie movie. You can recommend some weird surreal games to me. You just have to remember that I don't have a gaming PC, so um, there's a lot of the weirder stuff that I would like to play I can't because it's typically only on PC. But no, I think horror is definitely kicking up in terms of like good movies that are coming out, and even stuff like the fact that Amy Madigan won an Oscar for Weapons is kind of crazy because it's a horror movie. Okay, what should I do right now? Well, I was gonna a while back. I said I was gonna go to Hunter's March. Let's do that. And like to me, when it comes to there's a master shard up there and get when I think about like what felt like, at least to me, a turning point in terms of horror movies, I always think of Hereditary, which I know it came out in a sea of other pretty good horror movies, but that one especially felt like it had more mainstream appeal, even though it was like this super messed up, weird, bizarre, dark horror movie. And that to me always felt like a bit of a turning point of like, oh, it seems like general audiences are actually somewhat chill with watching stuff like that. And so yeah, that's been really cool to see. Yeah, Yumaniki, I've watched a few videos on it, so I already know like how it ends and all that stuff. That's like, there's a lot of stuff like that too, where, you know, it's a game I want to play or a book I want to read or something, but I've already, it's less with books, but more with like, I guess not really movies anymore, but like analog horror series, but it's like I've already watched videos about them and spoiled myself, and now I don't really do that as much for that reason, because I feel like I wasted my opportunity to get, you know, a fresh perspective on stuff. But I also don't think it's a bad thing, because like you can't watch everything and you can't read everything. Yeah, Babadook was definitely before Hereditary. A few years before. I think that was like 2013 or something. But yeah, it didn't feel like it was super solid. Definitely a very solid horror movie. But I didn't feel like it really started like this new wave that we've seen with like Robert Eggers and Mike Flanagan and all that. But you can feel that influence creeping into those movies for sure. It's just for some reason, Hereditary came out during a time when that stuff started becoming popular again. I've not seen Bring Her Back, but I have seen Talk to Me, and I like that one a lot. I am working on a short story and my own analog, or not analog horror, but internet horror series. So, but I don't know when those will be out. Those will be forever. Those will take a long time. Favorite area in Silksong? I don't know. I like the whole Citadel is a really fun area to be in. I also like the Verdonia. Is that how it's pronounced? Or is that what it's called? The area in Act 3 I really enjoy. Dang it. I forget what we even get by doing this. I think you can get like a tool pouch or something, which is useful. Sorry about that siren. We used to have like an air raid siren that would play for our surf and rescue team out here, but they don't do it anymore, and I'm curious why they stopped. It's kind of nice because it was very, very loud, and it would definitely go off sometimes when I was recording a video, and it goes off for like a full 3 minutes, so I would just have to sit there while it plays. It actually plays at the very end of my "This is where I died" video. What's my writing process like? Just run it down mid. I just kind of write what I'm like, and then just like I'll just write straight through. I mean, I have like a document that has like all the different moments, you know, like they have this storyboard of how it's all going to play out. But then I just kind of write like a bare bones version of what I'm doing, and then I go back in and fill out some more. But I always get like stun locked because then I want to like I'll read something and I'm like, oh, I should amend my writing to sound more like this particular author or something. So it's like I always have like a good idea in my mind of what I want it to, like how I want the story to go, but writing the moment to moment stuff, I'm really bad at just like constantly second guessing myself. I guess that's but then when it comes to writing videos, dang it, I just write straight through. I don't really, and I've been doing it enough that I'm able to just kind of freestyle it and just keep writing. I always write everything in increments of 2 lines though, because that's about how much I can do in one take without messing up. So I would segment it like that. Other recording tricks for any of you aspiring YouTubers is that whenever I record my videos, it's just one long video file, and then I have little hand symbols that I do to denote when a take is ended and whether the take was good or not. So that way when I'm editing my videos, I don't have to listen back to it really. I can just look at my hand symbol and know that it was a good take. Sorry, I'm locked in right now. Especially because I already missed 2 of these things. I thought you only had to hit... Dang it. She gives me a rosary necklace this time, but I think you get something good if you do it the 3rd time. Yeah, Biowater lore is really good. The hand symbols that I use are... It's just if it's a good take, I do a thumbs up. If a bad take, I go like this. But it also really helps for my friend that edits because he can just watch those symbols. So it makes editing a lot easier because you can just kind of do it more in the background. Like you don't have to be like listening to exactly what I say. And then I added on DaVinci Resolve, which is a free software. That's the other thing I say about YouTube is like I didn't really invest anything into my channel until I was at like 100,000 subscribers. Some people really get into their minds that like you have to spend all this money on gear, and it's like you really don't. You can do everything on free software. I mean, I pay for Canva Pro to do my thumbnails, but you could definitely do it with a free version as well. Dang it. I've read a couple books written by subscribers. I mean, I read The Musings of He, which I made a video on. It was really good. I read a book called Nea that was really good. And then I'm trying to remember if I've definitely read some stories sent to me by subscribers. I should just quit. Do you not get anything special after the necklaces? I thought there was a 3rd level that you could do. But this is just giving me more trouble than it's worth right now. If I don't get it this time, I'll do something else. This is so stressful. Oh my goodness. Oh my gosh. That was just a misclick. Okay, actual last try now. Yeah, I read the Buffalo Hunter Hunter last year. It's super good. Very Blood Meridian-y. So if you like Blood Meridian, I'd highly recommend Buffalo Hunter Hunter. I know this is riveting right now, but I really want to beat this. What? Didn't realize he got iframes. Oh my goodness. Oh. Rosary necklace, that's probably worth less than I spent on it. Is there one last level of this? Maybe she comes up with it later. Maybe it's in Act 3 that you can do it. I can't remember. Okay, maybe we'll talk to the fleas. Then I'll probably stop streaming at about 6, so in 45-ish minutes. Does he die in Act 3? Elite gameplay, elite gameplay. I forgot I have injector band. I should be using that. Loot! I'm a big fan of yours, Loot. I can't remember if I've commented on your videos before, but I'm definitely my brother showed me your channel, mostly because of your Sonic Adventure 2 video, because it has the greatest beginning to a video I've ever seen in my entire life. But and then also your Star Fox Assault video. We were huge Star Fox Assault fans, so thanks for tuning in. I guess Loot, I don't know, you might be despairing because of the new Star Fox announcement, or are you rejoicing, or you're like me and just somewhere in the middle? It's I've said it a few times on stream, but it's very funny that they're just remaking Star Fox 64 for like the 5th time. But I wonder, I can't remember if it said it in the direct for it, but I wonder if they'll have like just a straight mission select mode would be kind of cool, so you could just replay missions instead of having to go through the whole thing, which I don't think you can do on the original. The character design for the new Star Fox stuff like weirded me out at first, but now I think it looks pretty cool now. Definitely looks more like mercenary-ish than like the original games did, which is kind of cool, but I don't know. I just wish they would actually make another game. They whitewashed Falco. He's no longer Italian. The weird thing with Falco is he has bird feet now. Like they showed his official renders and he has like little chicken legs. It's uncanny. They should have just remade Star Fox Command, which I only played like once, and I know it has like a bunch of weird alternate endings. The characters look like Fox looks like he's from Fantastic Mr. Fox. But no, I'm you know, I mean it's like I'm glad it's not a full priced game, but and it's weird to be selling that when they already have, they have it on the Nintendo Switch Online. It's also interesting because I think there was a lot of like discussion around if they do another Ocarina of Time, like, oh, how much are they gonna change? And I think with the Star Fox announcement, that pretty much confirms that Ocarina of Time is just gonna be a straight graphical remake, which will I just don't think Nintendo's gonna touch that game. Yeah, me and I've got a bunch I have three older brothers. We'd always play Star Fox Assault. Um, the multiplayer on it, we'd always play on Saria, and you weren't allowed to play as Wolf because he doesn't die in one shot from a sniper. We never, but that just meant we always all played as Fox. I would always be like, oh, I'll play as Falco this time because he's cool, and then I would just get absolutely rocked. And the other, we had a bunch of house rules too. Like you weren't allowed to use there's a gun that you get that's like a one-shot kill if you're in last place or something. We were never allowed to use that. It's also I was thinking last night too is like I think the reason Nintendo just keeps remaking 64, I think it has to do with the fact that Adventures was made by Rare and Assault was Capcom. So it feels to me like they just actually don't know how to make a different Star Fox game. Like they're physically incapable of doing it. You're in luck. I actually did a ranking of the Mike Flanagan shows. It was a while back and the video did horribly, but I do have a video where I ranked all of them. And Loot, if you're still here, I will say that I rewatched your Sonic Adventure 2 video, which prompted me to finally get all of 180 emblems on Sonic Adventure 2, which made me both hate that game but also kind of love it. Like it just has this like paradoxical feeling to me where I'm like, I can see that this game has a lot of flaws in it, and there were many times when I was playing it that I was like, I hate this sucks, this game does not work. But then now that I'm thinking about it, I'm like, yeah, I could do that again. That was kind of fun. I'm like, it's such a strain. It has such a weird hold on me. Final chase, trying to get like the S rank on that. Well, or the A rank. I was like playing through the whole game and being like, yeah, I'm gonna get all the emblems, and I was just like doing all the missions as the hero side and doing all the like the separate missions and just getting whatever rank that I got, and I was like, this is actually kind of fun. And then I read that you have to get an A rank on everything, and I was like, oh, this is gonna be an absolute nightmare. Luckily there are some like legendary guides from 2013 that are still up that carried me through it all, but there was some absolutely miserable missions in that game. Sonic 06, I never played that because I never had like an Xbox back in the day. So, and then by the time I had an Xbox, I was just not in that phase anymore. But Sonic Adventure 2 was like an OG, one of my, like probably my favorite game when I was a kid. And then I have a Dreamcast just sitting in my garage that I got from my grandma that she used to have. And I have Sonic Adventure on that, so I need to play that again. I bought Sonic Adventure just on my Xbox right after I beat Sonic Adventure 2, and I was like, I'll play this now. And then I quickly realized that after getting all 180 emblems in Sonic Adventure 2, the last thing I wanted to do was play more Sonic. Leon Kennedy's here. Cool. Leon, I just played all your games except for Resident Evil 5 and 6. No, I really like Sonic Adventure. I always played the DX version, and I played it after I played Sonic Adventure 2. But I really like Sonic Adventure. But like I said, it was too much Sonic for one man to handle. I was also watching a bunch of Cyber Shell videos, which is the other reason I was getting really back into Sonic again. The most insane like requirements that I felt for Sonic Adventure 2 to get the A rank is, or to get all the emblems, was doing all the Chow Garden stuff. So when I did it, because you have to raise 2 Chows, you have to raise a hero one and a dark one so they can do the different kinds of races. So for the first one, I did it completely legit without the animal reuse glitch, which is the way you should do it. So I just like literally would go to Iron Gate as Eggman and grind and just do like the first 20 seconds of the level to get all 10 chaos drives, and then just go back and give them to my Chow, and then repeat that over and over. And it took me like probably 8 hours to level them up all the way. But then for the second one, I used the animal reuse glitch, and it was way quicker. But then I made the mistake of leveling the Chow all the way to 99 and everything, and then just starting all the races. And there's like 40 races you have to do, and it is the like minimal player input, and it was like torture just sitting there. I would just like turn it on and then walk away from my TV because I would just smoke them and everything. But yeah, that's a... And then I also had to like breed a good Chow that would have decent enough stats to win everything. The Chow Garden's really cool, but trying to go for all those emblems is insane. But like, it's one of those games where it's like, I think it is, he dies that quick when you have the upgrades. That's crazy. But when you, what was I gonna say? Yeah, it's like Chow Garden's really cool. I think like when I was a kid, because you're just worse at video games, so like you end up going back to the Chow Garden a lot more because you can't beat a level or something. And you're just messing around. But when you're just like playing straight through, it's like by the time you complete the campaign, I was even going in between each level, but it was like my Chow was not very high leveled. You haven't caught one of my lives before. This is only the 3rd live I've done, so you're not. And a fun fact, yesterday's live is gone because I don't know how it happened, but I literally accidentally left my stream on for like 13 hours, like overnight. But it was unlisted, so nobody saw it. But there was definitely just like, it was like 10 hours of just blank footage of this room. It's horrifying. Oh, I forgot that I have this thing, Beast Crest. Yeah, it's been fun streaming. I mean, yeah, just been doing it for the past couple days. I've been saying that I've just been so addicted to video games lately. I played through like 6 Resident Evil games in the past couple weeks that I'm like I should try to do something a bit productive with it, and so this has been fun. The Davis Morgan sleep stream. Dude, that would have been the perfect time for my printer creepypasta to manifest itself, where it's like during the middle of the blank stream, that printer, the dead printer in the corner, roars back to life, and then it it prints out a scary image of me, but I look hyper realistic. It's literally the scariest thing I can imagine. And Luke, you're absolutely right. Silksong is perfect. This is my 4th time playing, maybe my 5th time playing through it, but yeah, just unbelievably good, very polished, and sold for like, I forget whether it was $30 or $20, but an absurd deal in today's video gaming climate. It's only 20? Jeez. You almost feel bad about buying it when it's that cheap. I I know that I feel bad about buying it when it's this cheap because I had it on Game Pass and then I bought it on my Switch too. Like, I think my second playthrough I just bought it on my Switch because I was like, I just want to support these guys because, yeah, it's super awesome that they're just making insanely good games like this, and very, I talked about this earlier, but very inspiring that it's like the game took forever just because they were having fun making it. And I'm like, that's just so awesome. It's like they weren't crunching or freaking out or under pressure from executives. It was just like, no, we were just having fun making this, so we were just going to keep making it until we thought it would. Oh, I forgot this dude dies. No. That's depressing. I know with Team Cherry, I'm curious to see what they do next. I mean, they'll keep doing updates for this. They have the Sea of Sorrow update, but I would be down for Hollow Knight games until the day that I die. Like, I think, I wonder if they'll, and I am encouraged by the fact they said they enjoyed making this so much, because it does make me feel like they might make another one, like they just enjoyed the process of it. But yeah, such a absolutely legendary game studio that unfortunately had to deal with an insane fan base that was like constantly acting like their lives had been ruined because there was no Silksong announcement in a Nintendo Direct. Yeah, I'm super stoked about the DLC. I try not to think about it because I have no idea when it's coming out, but I'm really I don't think they'll have the Pantheon in this DLC, but when that comes out, I'll be doing that over and over again. Because the bosses are all so good in here too that it's like I just want to fight them again, but you can't. There's no Pantheon yet, so I have to keep replaying. You said they wouldn't be doing another Hollow Knight game? Well, how about, you know what I think would help inspire them? How about millions of child fans that complain online? I'm sure that's the most inspiring thing. Yeah, I guess if I were in their case, I probably wouldn't announce another one too, because I wouldn't want to be harassed by children online. But what are you gonna do? I love like the Silksong like truther people deciphering tweets. Like that was a surreal experience. And then just to be like guys, there's still really good video games coming out and you can just play those and you don't have to play Silksong. And then when it did come out, I feel like most of the Silksong subreddit was just people being like, this game is too hard. I don't like that this game is too hard. They should have made it easier. Like, go play something else. Yeah, the Silksong brought back like the Dark Souls era discussion of difficulty, and I found that really fascinating because I've mentioned this before, but it feels like a game that's made for people that played Hollow Knight a whole bunch. And I really like that because I played Hollow Knight a whole bunch, and I get that it's a difficult game, but also what I noticed was like the first time I was playing, I was like, okay, this is really hard, and like some of this feels like needlessly difficult. And then the second time I played, it felt way easier. Like I was just beating a lot of bosses the first try, and so I'm like, it's clearly difficult, but it's obviously fair in the sense that you can just build up the skill to run through it really quickly. It just takes patience, and like you actually have to dedicate yourself to learning fight patterns and stuff, like I'm clearly not doing with this guy right here. But again, the discussion about the difficulty shocked me just because, I mean, Hollow Knight was not known for being an easy game. I feel like it was known for being difficult. But I do think there's probably a good contingent of people who maybe never even played Hollow Knight and were just interested in Silksong because of all the hype around it. So yeah, it was like, I almost made a video about it, but it wouldn't have fit on the channel. No, Dumbo Rat, Lost Lace is hard. Lost Lace took me many, many hours to beat. Yeah, I think Hollow Knight's difficulty, like it starts at a lower spot, and if you do everything in the game, it's definitely more difficult than anything in Silksong. Like, there's no platforming in this game that's nearly as hard as maybe I'll go through whatever it's called, Bile Water. I don't have the Wreath of Purity though. Maybe I should grab that first. But what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, there's nothing in platforming in this game that's as hard as the Path of Pain. Nothing nearly as hard as Pantheon 5. But there probably will be by the time this game is fully done, so that'll be fun. Yeah, Silksong's like sales numbers were insane. Didn't it like crash the Steam, like crashed Steam, or like the storefront wasn't working properly when it came out? And then it proceeded to win 0 awards at the Game Awards. I'm not salty at all. I don't really care about the Game Awards, but come on, man, it's Silksong. Okay, so I should go to Memoriam, I think. Buy Hollow Knight and Silksong. I would buy Hollow Knight first and not buy Silksong, because if you end up hating Hollow Knight, you probably won't like Silksong. I would hate for you to double spend. I've definitely been guilty of buying a game and then just like not really, and like played it. Like, this is going to be a horrible example for this because it's a very popular game, but I played through all of the first 6 Final Fantasy games, and then I bought Final Fantasy 7, and I just completely bounced off of it. I need to go back and try to play it again, but something about it, I was having a hard time with it. But I think the original Final Fantasy 7 on Xbox was like $5, so it wasn't that big of a deal. Yeah, Dumber Rat, I also really I played Expedition 33 like 5 times last year. I think it's an amazing game, but I was a little bit like, okay. It just feels like sometimes with the Game Awards, it feels like everybody knows what game is going to win like 9 months in advance. It's like when Baldur's Gate 3 came out, there was never any discussion of like what's gonna win. Everyone's like, okay, this is gonna win the Game Awards. I'm like, okay. It's like the only I don't watch the Game Awards, but I feel like the reason you would watch it is for the announcements. But they never announced Silksong anyway, so why would I even care? But I will say, I do love Expedition 33. I think it's really fun and super solid. And I just discovered it completely by accident. It's just one of those things where I was like on my Xbox and it released on Game Pass, and I was like, oh, I don't know what this is. And I ended up really liking it. I also did not realize that Renoir, is that his name? Renoir? I didn't realize that he was Andy Serkis until like my second playthrough, or even my third playthrough, and I was like, oh, that's that guy. Good to see you, Loot. Thanks for stopping by. Huge nose. You are absolutely right. I got a big old nose. Yeah, the Expedition 3 AI thing, I believe they did use AI in some of their like concept art and stuff, which I don't like AI. Oh, dang it. I don't like AI, but I actually think that was not a huge, like, I think it was a few years back, so kind of before we understood a lot of the ramifications of what AI does. So like it didn't seem like the biggest deal to me. And they obviously hired a lot of artists. And I don't think in like the current landscape, I don't think they would have done it. But who knows? Somebody should make a Silksong creepypasta. It would be like, let's see. I was playing Silksong, and everything was going fine, but then I noticed in the background there was something giant and lumbering towards me. And I saw it was a human. A real human. He was massive, and he stomped directly on Hornet. And hyper-realistic bug blood spewed out of her. But the scariest part of it was that my Nintendo Switch 2, the fan started going really loud because it was eating up a lot of memory. Gravestones for real people, that's pretty good. Why is Hornet called Hornet? Because she was trained by, it's never even confirmed, but she was trained by a queen bee, and so it's the theory is that that's where her name comes from. But she's like a half spider, half worm, but worm spelled W-Y-R-M. Okay, I always forget how to get to the putrefied ducts from here. I haven't even got the map yet either. Oh, a good creepypasta idea would be like, you have to play into the fact that the game took forever to come out. It's like, have you guys heard of the real reason it took Team Cherry to make Silksong? Like, it took them so long? Well, it's because all of the bugs in the game actually have the real souls of bugs, and Team Jerry systematically tortured bugs in order to transfer their souls into the game. I wonder if there's anything over here that you can get, or if it's just a... Oh yeah, isn't there a big flea? That's right. I don't know. There are things I don't like about Nintendo, but I actually feel like price-wise, I don't think they've been that egregious. Like, I mean, the Switch 2 is $450, which is a lot, but isn't the Xbox Series X $600 and also like 5 years old? And the PlayStation Pro is like $900. So I actually feel like it's not like the least affordable. And I also feel like most of the time when Nintendo releases like one of their AAA games, it's typically like it works well and doesn't need like a billion updates, but yeah, I guess Tears of the Kingdom being $70 was annoying, but I don't know, they were just kind of the first movers in that, because now, I mean, right, pretty much every AAA game is $70, if not 80 now. Yeah, I guess they are strict about how you can use it. People kept saying that they could like brick your Switch, but I think that clause literally exists on every single console. So again, it's like, it certainly has less versatility than like a PC, but that's just kind of all consoles are. I just think there's no, when it comes to gaming, I just don't know if there's any like altruistic gaming company. I think they're all out to make a bunch of money. What am I doing? How Okay, I gotta find one last thing to do and then I'll log off here. Is there any boss I could fight right now? That would be a good way to end this. I'm not gonna go through bile water. I can't fight The I can't fight the last judge because I don't have the whatever it is. I don't have one of the bells. Hmm. Maybe there is no boss that's like readily available to me. I digify Big Flea. Oh, I could do Volworm, Raging Conchfly. I could do Raging Conchfly actually. Don't have to go up through Blasted Steps, right? Can you get up to the Sands of Karak through there? Yeah, let's try that. Oh. I also gotta make sure I don't lose my rosaries because I have a whole bunch of them. Let's see if there's anything to buy. I think I can buy like spool extender. I'll buy a simple key. Let's see. So I gotta go to Bellway and then go to Blasted Steps and then do Conchfly. I also could have bought stuff from Grindel or whatever his name is. I am on Pacific time zone, yeah. I do like Metroidvanias, but I haven't played one that I like as much as Hollow Knight and Silksong, and those are the Hollow Knight was the first one I played. So, and I liked Metroid Dread, and I liked The Last Faith and the Blasphemous games, but none of them have really scratched that same itch. So, I feel like I started with like the best ones, and now it's hard to go back and play some other ones. Oh yeah, there is a new Castlevania game from the Dead Cells team, huh? I should definitely check that out. Definitely should have just taken the elevator up there, but why not? Okay, and I should definitely rest at this bench just in case I die. 9 souls, I really like 9 souls, yeah. Did I unlock the shortcut over here? I feel like I'm going the worst way. Dang it. No. Might have to actually use this thing, huh? Okay, I have to really not die when I fight this guy because that run back seems like it'll be miserable. Maybe that runbuck's not that bad, actually. Okay, this is it. This is the last thing we're doing today. Oh no. I always get hit by that move. Oh, I forgot about this. It's always that move. I think he's gotta be close to dying, huh? But so am I. I can't hit him. I can't hit him. There we go. Yay. Yeah, I don't really love this area. I love the design of this area, but the actual area itself is not super fun. Is there anything over here? Maybe? Is there a wall? Maybe not. All right. Well, thank you guys for tuning in. That's going to be it for today. I don't know when I'll be back, but I will announce it on the channel when that time comes. I also remember how to end this stream because it did not end properly that one time. But yeah, thank you guys for tuning in, and I'll catch you later. Bye.